February 2022 will mark 40 years since the first flight of Boeing's famous 757 family. The US planemaker produced more than 1,000 examples of this twinjet design between 1981 and 2004. Over half of these remain active today, with their ages spanning a relatively wide range. Let's take a look at the lower end of the scale to see which are the youngest. There are presently 539 active examples of aircraft from across the Boeing 757 family. Of these, 50 are yet to reach their 20th birthday. The very youngest of these is a 757-200 that belongs to Atlanta-based US legacy carrier and SkyTeam founding member Delta Airlines. It bears the registration November 822 Delta X-Ray. This aircraft is just 16.99 years old. This makes for a striking contrast when compared to the oldest active Boeing 757s. Some of these are closing in on 40 years of service. November 822 Delta X-Ray was the 1,049th of the 1,050 757s that Boeing produced over a 23-year cycle spanning from 1981 to 2004. The plane began its career in China. Having first flown in October 2004, it entered service with Shanghai Airlines in March 2005. It has flown for Delta since April 2016 and sports a 3-class 193-seat configuration. According to data from radarbox.com, Delta deploys it both domestically and on international flights to Reykjavik from its Minneapolis base. As it happens, Delta is a key operator when it comes to teenage Boeing 757s. All in all, the carrier accounts for 24 of the 50 of these twinjets that haven't yet reached 2 decades of flying. Admittedly, the oldest of these is very close to hitting the 20-year mark. Clocking in at 19.97 years old, this ex-Northwest Airlines jet bears the registration November 554 November Whiskey. Delta is also a rare operator of the stretched Boeing 757-300. Of its 24 active teenage 757s, 2/3, totaling 16 aircraft, are examples of the so-called flying pencil. These range from 18.01 years old, November 596 November Whiskey, to 19.62 years old, November 581 November Whiskey. As their registration suffixes suggest, both of these stretched aircraft began their careers at Northwest Airlines. 9 of the 50 active teenage Boeing 757s are examples of the 757-200 PCF variant. This suffix stands for Precision Converted Freighter. According to Cargo Facts, 120 of these conversions from existing passenger 757s had taken place as of April 2020. This process reportedly costs in the region of $5 million and allows the aircraft to carry 15 pallets. The youngest of these converted cargo aircraft is, in fact, the second youngest of the world's current active 757 family aircraft. It bears the registration Bravo 2862 and flies for YTO Cargo Airlines out of Hangzhou, China. Before its conversion in June 2021, this 17.15-year-old jet had flown passengers in China for Xiamen Airlines from 2004 to 2018. Elsewhere in China, SF Airlines operates 3 teenage Boeing 757-200 PCFs. These jets are 17.64, 18.52 and 18.62 years old, and they all started their careers at First Choice Airways. The remaining 4 757 freighters that are below 20 years old all fly for either DHL or its German partner European Air Transport Leipzig. These yellow-liveried aircraft are at the older end of the teenage spectrum, ranging from 19.57 to 19.73 years old. Chicago-based Star Alliance founding member United Airlines is another important carrier when it comes to the world's youngest active Boeing 757s. It has 15 757s in its fleet that are below 20 years old, meaning that it and fellow US Big Three carrier Delta account for 78% of all active teenage 757s. Interestingly, all 15 are examples of the stretched 757-300. This group of aircraft as a whole is 19.1 years old on average, making them considerably younger than its standard 757-200s. Indeed, these Twinjets, of which United has 51, are 25 years old on average. Meanwhile, United's oldest active teenage 757-300 clocks in at 19.85 years of age. Registered as November 75851, this jet is an ex-Continental aircraft which first flew in November 2001. This leaves just 2 of the 50 teenage active 757s that we are yet to have covered. Of these, the youngest is a 19.5-year-old 757-200 that flies for Russian charter carrier Azur Air. It bears the registration Victor Quebec Bravo Echo Yankee and seats 238 passengers in an all-economy layout. Data from CH Aviation shows that this Twinjet entered service with Finnair in April 2002. It then moved to Russia in 2010, where it joined UT Air in May that year. It has been at Azur since May 2015. Elsewhere in Europe, one of Iceland Air's 2 Boeing 757-300s is also yet to reach its 20th birthday. Registered as Tango Foxtrot Foxtrot India X-Ray, this Twinjet has been with the Icelandic flag carrier for its entire career. It joined the airline in March 2002, having first flown a month earlier. Data from Radar Box shows that Tango Foxtrot Foxtrot India X-Ray flew from Alicante to Reykjavik just recently. Coming soon, it's set to fly to Denver. This will be its first transatlantic voyage since September 24th, when it returned from Toronto. Are you a fan of the Boeing 757? What are your best memories of flying on the type? Let us know your thoughts and experiences in the comments. In addition to our daily YouTube videos, Simple Flying publishes over 150 articles and a podcast every week. If you're looking for the latest aviation news and insights, visit simpleflying.com. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe.